Hi, it's Dan here from Flexxable, and today I'm going to give you an SMS that's better than Dean Jackson's 9-word email for a pay-per-lead offer. Let's get stuck in. Okay, so before I kind of reveal what this quick short message is that kind of just reactivates clients like crazy or gets cold clients on board like crazy, I wanted to give you a bit of a background on what a really good sales kind of ecosystem looks like for a pay-per-lead agency or a retainer agency or whatever that is in the lead generation space, right? So a lot of people that I come across that are inside the agency space run a very much kind of feast or famine type agency, right? So there's usually a few characteristics. There's two things. One is that it is feast or famine. So they'll only push sales when they start to struggle and when revenue drops. And the second thing is they usually have an over-reliance on a whale, okay? 80-20 rule, usually there's one whale that's bringing in 80% of their revenue, and if they lose that client, they're in serious trouble. And that was me as well back in the day, okay? I always had an over-reliance on a big guy and I was terrified of losing them. I was up at night with the cold sweats, just having nightmares about what would happen if they would leave, all right? And that's really not a good place to be in for your mental health if you're trying to run a business, okay? So we need to try and help you stop that. So as kind of technology is kind of grown over the years, and we've seen the likes of, CRM Systems and Pipedrive and, High Level and all of these systems that we now have available to us, we want to start to have a system which kind of just consistently fills from left to right. Okay, so you've got your client getting strategy over here, that is to get them to raise their hand and opt in for a lead magnet or book a call or whatever that is. And you want to have, after they hit that, and you want to pull them into a CRM like High Level, right? High Level works great because you're able to email them and SMS them, put them into sequences. If they book an appointment but don't turn up, you're able to kind of show a different sequence to them. It's very customizable. It's built especially for agencies, and it's awesome. So the first bit of advice is you just want to make sure that you have something that's very much repeatable and captures everyone as they come into your funnel, okay? Because one thing that I've learned over the years is that the clients don't always want to buy from you at that specific moment, all right? Especially if it's a pay-per-lead offer. What we're seeing right now in their economy and in some of these industries is they're so busy. There's so much cheap money flying around everywhere that everyone's spending their money on solar panels or new roofs or renovations or loft conversions. They're all getting mortgages because it's cheap money, all right? There's a lot of businesses out there that are just kind of smashing it, and they don't need as many leads as before. Okay, so they might not want something now, but if there's a recession around the corner and things get tough, guess what? They might see an email from you or an SMS from you, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, which kind of just gets them to raise their hand, comes at the right time, and then you're off to the races with them, okay? But my point is that if you're an agency and you haven't got that kind of pipeline filled and you haven't got all of those people that have opted in to become a potential client with you in a system that's easy to communicate with, then you're really going to struggle because you'll be just kind of like searching for the name of, you might remember the name of the client or whatever that's in your Gmail, and you're searching frantically for them to send an email to 6 months after you remembered to get in touch with them. That's just not a good way to build a business. And it might sound simple and obvious, but I see a lot of people don't take this seriously. Okay, so get something in place that allows you to kind of nurture them when they first come in, but also play the long game. I call it like building a sales dynasty. And this is exactly what I do within my own email database, within my Facebook group, within all these places where I have a community, right? There's always a constant mix between, offers and making offers to my community, which, by the way, people love offers. That's my little tip. And giving away some really good content that's going to actually help them. If you can approach your agency in exactly the same way, where it's not just a kind of one and done, buy leads from me and then stop type thing, and actually build a dynasty, a sales dynasty, as I say, you'll notice that things are, start gaining momentum over time, and you'll begin to build more value inside your agency, which obviously can be bought later on. The whole reason why you want to build this system, this ecosystem, or a sales machine that you can kind of tap on at any time to bring a new client in. The whole point of that is so you can send out some kind of offers to people, some emails or some quick SMSs that get like a kind of binary response, or a yes or a no. Okay, you don't want to send out like an email that, and yes, it might work, right? But like, you don't want to send out an email or SMS that says, we have some solar leads that are in California, and at the moment they're between $55 and $75, and they all have a utility bill of over $100, and they're delivered in real time. But we have some back end deals that we can sell to you as well that look like this, and this, and they're delivered between Monday and Friday, and you have to pay half up front and half on the back end. Okay. Yes, you're going to find someone that reads that and it's like a light bulb, and yeah, I want to get going. But most of the time there's going to be something within that email that just turns people off and they won't even respond to it. Okay, so what you want to have is very much a binary type email that you can send that kind of gets a yes or no response, then starts the sales conversation. Okay, and then what happens if they get back and say yes or no? If they say yes, then you can start asking questions about their business. Where do they take the leads? How much are they paying? Have they bought leads before? What the contact rates? Are they buying leads from a home advisor? Have they bought exclusive leads before? Have they been burnt by agencies in the past? All of these questions help you filter the client to see whether or not they're going to be a good fit for your agency. Trying to kind of pre-sell them or kind of sell them in that first email is just a bad idea. You're just not going to get many responses. You want a quick, fast email you can send that just gets a binary answer. And, I learned this from, I've never spoken to the guy, but Dean Jackson, right? He has a really, really great concept called the 9-word email. I've just got it up here because I'll forget it. But the subject line of the email is Joe ... or Dan ... the person that you're sending the email to. And this is usually just done in a manual way. Okay, it doesn't take long. And the body of the email would be like, are you still looking to buy leads in California? ? All right. And that's the binary response that you want. And then once they say yes or no, you can then get back into the process that I was just talking about before. I call it a doctor's diagnosis. All right, where you're kind of diagnosing their pain point. And then once you find their pain, you send them their medicine, which we usually do in the form of a Google document or something like that. That's a whole nother story. I'm not going to get into that today. But, the whole point is to get that response and then filter them to see if they're a client that you want to work with rather than the other way around. Does that make sense? So that email works really well for the binary response. But what I've found through our conversations with clients is that in most industries, if they're used to buying leads and they've done this before and they've done it at scale, their kind of instant reaction to any of your sales messages is, can you just send me your email, your price list and your volume that you can deliver, price or quality? Can you send the price list and the quality of your leads? So what I do is I listen to what's happening within these sales conversations and I put it back in to my outreach, right, to get the sales conversations happening. So a better email that you should test, or an SMS that you should test if you haven't done this already, is have a subject line that's something along the lines of price list, ? with an email that goes something along the lines of, we have some surplus solar leads from a red hot Facebook campaign that are phone verified, if that's what you're offering, and we're looking to place a home for them. Just reply back and we'll fire over our price list and how much volume we have available. It's a bit more than a 9-word email, but when they see the word price list and quality and stuff like phone verified, if that's what you're offering, it immediately kind of piques their interest, okay? And you're able to get a really good response to a question mark like that. They're asking for a price list and volume, okay? And a lot of people will, no, we can't give them that. We can't do that. Okay, they're gonna not work with us if we do that. But the way we do it is then we give them a price list in a Google Doc, which very much is written in a sales letter type way, which will allow that kind of price list to do the conversion for us into a client. Okay, rather than having to jump on a strategy session and do it, or use the price list as a sales tool to convert them. So as you can see, if you have that sales dynasty set up and you've got some clever emails like the Dean Jackson one or the one I just said, you're able to just fire these out at any time you want and get conversations happening, and let the document, or I call it the medicine document, do the converting for you, okay? Because you've done the doctor's diagnosis, and then you give them the medicine, and then they just say, yes, I want leads, or no, they don't. All right, so this is a really good way of doing things, and I recommend you give it a go yourself. So if you've liked this video today, please give us a thumbs up so we'll know how to create more videos like this. If you've got any questions or comments at all, please comment below. And lastly, subscribe to the video so you'll be the first to know whenever we create more content like this over at Flexxable. I'll speak to you soon.